Okay, hey everybody. Might be a quick one today. Welcome to the Reticular Strategy session. We have a lot going on though, so I'll just review what's going on. Feel free to ask any questions, um, and we'll get to everything. This is being recorded. We'll put it in the members area probably by tomorrow. And basically, the biggest news, biggest two things. I'll start with the Craigslist little app. It's not really big news. It's just a little tool you guys can use under the toolbox. Craigslist Ad Writer right here, and you can basically, I have a video in the group, you'll be able to just like the MLX remarks generator, just create a quick bunch of text. Thanks, Mike. How are you, Mike? Mike's saying you can't see my screen, so that is correct. Now you can. What's the best feature of the property? Best feature next to the pool. What is it convenient to? Mike Kemper's house. Arizona somewhere. But basically the idea here behind this tool is that if you're at a loss for kind of what to write about a listing, or you want to use this to write punchier listings with an automatic call to action at the end as a guideline, and maybe sneak in a Facebook page URL. Brokerage info. You know, it takes a minute to do, but what you can do is you can create this, and then maybe you could even specify your admin's email every time you get the new listing, and then they'll have a couple different variations of the ad. And I just have 3 in here right now, but we'll put a bunch in here. Yeah, and I'll pre-fill some of our wacky subject lines. We'll do the calls to action. See, just SMS us. We'll get back to you fast for more details and pictures. Snuck in the Facebook link. Basically, you know, the idea that the thing is Craigslist is making things hard. This is one way to combat that. Mike's saying he used it this morning and it didn't get flagged. So far, so good. So yeah, we're not going to get as great results from this as we would have just popping a picture of a video into our ad. But on the other hand, a lot of our competitors are going to leave Craigslist, so there's still some advantage to taking advantage of some of that hot traffic that's there. So that's that. The other big thing, well, Jeff's been putting some basic videos under the blog section of the site. So if you go to the home page, we're trying to just revamp and get a lot of our fundamentals down. There's some gaps in the method itself. We're reconstructing a lot of things, and a lot of that revolves around one of the big developments that we've been working on, and that is an integration with sort of a white label real estate CRM that we're going to be able to really drive development on, or at least get a lot of the features that we want. I've been working with these guys, and they're really friendly and easy to work with. It's called Realtiva.biz, and you guys, most members, you can log in now with your Reticulous username and password. You should be able to just jump right in here. If you have problems, let us know. But as of a week ago, any member who was a member a week ago should be able to get into here. And I'm just going to give you guys a quick tour. You can ask any questions you have. But the idea for showing you now, before we even have like our own branded page and we have some of the features we're looking for, is so that you guys can help give feedback and maybe start putting leads in here and using it if you have time. As of right now, I'll show you some of the coolest things that it can do. There is a lead box. If I go to options, lead box, there's a Dropbox email address right here. And you can actually set this when you're using our squeeze pages as the notification email. You can put your own address, comma, this address right here. I just wanted to show you that in action for anybody who wants to mess around with it. It will actually feed leads in. Now you guys are going to be able to create an unlimited number of drip email campaigns. There is a very primitive right now. I was just talking to the guys. Very primitive form maker. It's probably not going to work for our needs right now, but hopefully in the next few weeks, it'll do almost not as feature rich as GetResponse, but you'll be able to build a nice simple form for capture and have a bunch of them all housed right here and saved, so you don't have to mess with our builder every time. It'll be an option, and you can attach them to all different drip emails. We're going to pre-feed this, of course, with all of our swipes, so you can just grab any of our emails at any time and send it out. There's going to be integration with GetResponse for mass emailing. There's a subtle difference between drip emailing and mass emailing. You'll be able to come in and have integration. If your lead comes in here first, you can, when you need to send a mass email, go ahead and send it out through a service like GetResponse. I think they're going to integrate with MailChimp and maybe some others, but you'll be able to have our drips all built and ready to go right in here. Mark, this is basically a preview of the CRM that you now have access to. If you go to realtiva.biz, we're going to have our own domain for it, but I wanted to let members have a sneak peek, and you guys can go and log in with your Reticulous username and password. Basically, what we're trying to do, what we've always wanted to do, was have a way for the leads you generate from our front-end squeezes or using our headlines and our tests or methods, have it tied to a back-end database where everything was congruent and accessed from one spot, where you don't necessarily need to go in and GetResponse, create something different, or go to lead pages, so on. And then, of course, this has a lot of the traditional CRM-y type stuff that you'd expect from a real estate CRM. It's got task plans. It's got a calendar. You can set up. You can view a pipeline and see your opportunities and track, how many listings you have and deals closing, and all that traditional stuff that you'd expect. A lot of times it's bloat. You don't end up using it, but it's here if you want to use it. Let's see. So basically play around. I just showed you, play around with the lead box thing. You can forward emails in, right, from a separate, if you get an email in your main Gmail from somebody and you want to forward it in and link it to their records, you can do that kind of stuff. You can import your contacts. There are tutorials on the homepage of realtiva.biz about how to import contacts and a few of the other features, but we'll be building out our own library now that we kind of have our hands on it. That's it. So I was going to just do the squeeze maker. I'm going to take my Dropbox over here and just show that in action, that it is working now. You can feed leads into the system. I just go to lead box under options. I copy this. Okay, free list of foreclosures near Mike's house. See the list now. Create my link. And this link will actually send the lead straight in. Okay, it'll send it in. And of course, the system sends an auto email and all of that. Now, if you wanted to, the main point I wanted to make was that you can actually put your own email address and the Realtiva Dropbox address. I would put yours first so that the auto response email that goes out comes from you and not that jumbled address, if that makes any sense. There is no monthly price point. We're including it. We're including it with membership. So it's included. Martin's asking if we should wait till we perfect this to use Realtiva fully. I don't see any harm either way. Basically, it's a database for your leads. There's no rush to jump in and start using it. The bottom line is if you want to start putting people in, if you want to import your database and start playing with things, it's going to be a process as these guys build out some of the features we want. But basically, if you want to just track leads and categorize them and do some of that, and you want to set up drip campaigns, that stuff all works. It works fine. What I have here, you're going to want to set up a drip campaign to be the main campaign for now that everybody gets. But on a case-by-case basis, you can go in and set every lead up for a separate campaign, and you can set up as many as you want. So to answer your question, just wait a week or two till I get all the videos and the documentation live. That's fine, but there's no harm in putting stuff in here. Let me just show you how the drip builder works. So you guys can get a little excited if you want. I basically come to drip builder. I come to add campaign. Okay, so maybe I want one for multifamily. apartment buyers. The other cool thing here, guys, is there will be team routing. The only thing there is I think we're going to have to, because we're kind of paying for the seats. It doesn't cost you guys anything for yourself. If you just want to have other people on your team to have access, it'll be very affordable. We're just going to pass the cost through. It'll be like $5 a head if you just want to add other users to access your CRM. That might be the only add-on because we're being billed on a user basis. Drip campaign, form capture. I'll mention the IDX in a minute. Email marketing, and then it'll be in my campaigns here. Multifamily apartment buyers. I'm sorry. If I click email editor, I'm just learning it here, but it's pretty good, guys. I mean, it's pretty easy. It's actually easier to get response, in my opinion, to build a campaign. It's pretty simple. Subject line, time lapse, 0 days. I can fill my own signature in here. Show you guys where to do that automatically on the bottom, and then anything I want with HTML. Really easy to embed pictures, do anything you want from right here. And then when I add my next email, I'm simply gonna save. Just hit email editor again, second email, time lapse 1 day. So hopefully this is good news. You guys can probably over time either do away with GetResponse or eliminate some steps and bring everything into one database if you want to. It's available for you. It's not going to cost you anything extra to have this. Hit save, or you can just ignore it. No problem. We won't take it personally. And just keep doing what you're doing. We don't want to cause confusion. So there we go. We have our drip. Very easy to build. You can do some cool stuff with my settings under options. See, I'm using my user signature. At the bottom of every drip has this automatically. You can do some cool calls to action there. And there is also, I don't know much about it, there's integration with iHomeFinder and IDX Broker. IDXs where the leads can go both ways. So if you want to use any of those services as your IDX, there is some integration currently. I think part of the reason for the partnership and part of the reason we're excited is that the guys here, it's a small team. They've been around a while. Mostly they've been white labeling this out to other providers, but it hasn't developed too far. And I think based on me, I've been talking to them for weeks now. They're very willing to kind of like follow our lead as a group. We're kind of, our tech savviness or whatever, our weird marketing stuff, they're game. So when I go to him like, dude, your capture page maker stinks, they're like, okay, well, what do we need to do? So they're working on it now. It's coming. I said, you got to integrate with GetResponse so that, we don't have to worry about email deliverability or whatever on mass emails, things like that. So guys, just speak up, be vocal, tell us in support, tell us in the group what features you want to see here, and let's build this thing out to be something that we all really like. That's about it. Can't hear. I'm sorry about you. Sandy, I dropped it in the link, but I'll drop it again. It's called realtiva.biz. What's going to happen is it's going to end up being like Reticulous CRM. It'll be our version, but I'm just so excited and I wanted to share. So I'm probably a week or two too soon. I do know that everybody's username and password for this should be the same as your Reticulous, so you can log in. Now, if you can't, please just bear with us and be patient. We can add you very quickly. Just let Mike and let support know, and we'll get you added right in and get right back to you if that doesn't work. Yeah, so Martin's saying he uses Follow Up Boss too, and you guys will remember a few years ago we tried to do something with Follow Up Boss, but the cost was so prohibitive. They wanted a lot per user for us to do this. I'm kind of psyched about this because it not only lets us, we're able to do it within the cost of your membership without charging you anymore, and it also lets us kind of build out the feature set that we want. So it's really cool. Let me answer more questions. Will it monitor open rates? Mark, probably not yet on the individual drips. Probably not. The big advantage here is that when we have an email that's working, we'll be able to add it to the library and it'll be available for you to swipe. And I think that's always been a big thing. It's been disjointed. You have to go in and hunt and peck and find it. When you come into email marketing, over time, you're going to see more and more campaigns in here, or just there'll probably be one that just says example emails, and you can go in and copy and paste from the editor here. Mike, did you use a regular username or just your email? Mike Smith, are you on? Let me see. Mike Smith. Let me see where you are. You usually are. Oh, a lot of people showed up. Hey, everybody. Hey, Mike. You know, everybody, Mike's on right now. I'm sure Mike doesn't mind. I'm going to let your mic go, Mike. Mike, can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Cool. Are you all right with that process? Can you add people who tell you that they can't get in right now? Can you see the questions?
Yeah, I can. Yep, that's no problem.
Cool, man. All right, I'll mute you back. So Mike will be able to, anybody who's on, just support at reticulous.com. If you have trouble logging in, we'll deal with it right now. Okay, I'm just looking at your questions, guys. Yeah, Mike Kemper, just email support. We'll get that fixed for you. Sandy, yes, that's a good question. Let me just address any questions related to this, and I'll get right back to that. Okay. Yeah, Sandy's asking, is there an automatic email that goes out with our done for you, with our seller leads? There should be. Sandy, you're not using Market Leader, are you? I integrated with Market Leader for somebody, and I apologize if I'm not remembering if that was you or not. But there's an email that goes out from us, and it basically says, well, let's just do it. It basically says, what condition is your house in? And you should be getting replies to that if you're getting emails, because I know a lot of people reply to it. So property buzzer, /flex mine worth. Is this you? Let me see. Mox@gmail.com. Oh, I put my email address in the first side. Okay, great. Your property updates will start shortly. Yeah, I don't know if I mentioned last week, I did a quick little video, which you guys can override by setting the after equals field. Okay, great. Your property updates will start. Don't do it the way I did it. I just wanted to show. Yeah, it is working fine. You can set the override. If you set it at the front end as after equals, it'll work fine. And then the email that comes back, basically says, on a scale from 1 to 10, how is your property? What condition is your property in? Okay, so it says, hi, we'll be sending over your property value report shortly. Quick question. On a scale from 1 to 10, what condition would you say the property is in? Can anybody concur? Because I ran a test with this locally and got a lot of responses. I haven't run it in the last week. Can anybody concur that you are getting a response? Okay, I got you, Sandy. I would, if you're using get response, it's not going to automatically send our response. So copy this and make it your first email. I'm going to put the text right in. Very few, 10 to 15%. That's not few. Tom's saying 10 or 15%. In my mind, so if somebody starts talking to you, that's not very few. To me, that's a good number. If somebody is telling you the value of the property, they're like live, and a lot of times you'll get the email signature. Tom wants 50 plus. I don't know. Yeah, over 10% rocks just to get an immediate interaction, and then over time that number will go up if you're following up by sending them the properties that are listed and sold in their area. If you do actually send the recent listed and sold, you'll gain top of mind. But just to be able to talk to people right away, because if they say, yeah, my property's an 8 out of 10, your next response is, okay, great, working it up. Just curious, are you thinking of selling in the next year? It becomes more conversational, or you could reply and say, okay, well, here's the value. A lot will depend on what time of year you sell. Are you thinking of selling in the next year? And they'll, you've got somebody live and dialoguing. Yeah, Sandy, I wouldn't know how to make market leaders send the auto. The document of the seller automated emails. So two people just asked for a follow-up drip campaign for sellers. The follow-up drip campaign for sellers is sending them trust me guys, it's just sending them the properties getting listed in their area. And then that instant email. Otherwise, we're going to be banging our heads against the wall trying to get somebody who isn't ready to sell. And that's why the wording on the page is get updates whenever another property is listed or sold, because you follow up on that promise and build trust. But we do have a doc or two, that Josh and I did last year. I'm going to try to find that for you guys with some scripts, and we can riff on that now if you want. Seller lead follow-up emails. Okay, so here is a drip you guys could use. But yeah, I think even at that time, we only did 2 days. Initial email option 2, I'm going to put here, and I'm going to go initial email option 1, because I think 10 or 15% is just wonderful. Option 1. Let me just pull this script up. Now the system sends this automatically. Our page sends this one. I put my email in, so that's why I filled it like that. But this will get you some responses. Initial email option 1, initial email option 2. Here's an initial email if you have a strong seller. Please allow 24 to 48 hours. In the meantime, if you haven't already done so, you might want to check out this special program we offer potential sellers. So if you have some kind of unique offer, you could do that there. Link to your special offer. And then the next day is you trying to get a phone number because you need more details about the property. And then here's a third one. Just curious when you're thinking of selling, as that does affect the value. So not saying not to do these, but I think you're going to know if you've got somebody live based on whether or not they follow up on this first email. Josh would say just set them all up, and there's no harm in doing that. But I think that first one is just going to skim off people who are going to actually ever talk to you. Yeah, I want to comment on your thing too, Mark. 1 second. So Mark's saying, yeah, he's never really focused on sellers. And kind of the reason why I don't have a lot of, just give you guys the link. I don't really like, I think the system we built is pretty good and effective, but I don't like leading with seller offer either, because we know that we can pick up a lot of sellers in the process of focusing on buyers. So what you're doing is probably just really good, Mark. It just makes sense. And you might find you're adding more work for yourself in terms of doing valuations for people who aren't ready to sell and so on and so forth, when in the course of generating the buyer leads, you're going to get the seller leads. Whew, sorry guys, I'm rambling. I'm a little tired today. Tired. Okay, Bayou's asking where to get this. I'll have this in. The whole incubation tab of the site needs to be rebuilt, guys. I'll add all this stuff in there. I realize that. I really wanted to. I've been waiting. I thought we'd have the CRM sooner. I've been waiting and holding back on putting more content in because I want to build the new tutorials around the CRM. you know, like how to use that so it all flows nice. The document itself, I just pasted in the group. Can you print that puppy? Print it. I think you guys could just go here. A few of you are on. I can see your links up here. We got a giraffe and a bunny rabbit. I don't know why it does that. Everybody's looking. Yeah, you should be able to print it out. And we'll load all these up, guys. We'll load these up into Realtiva. You know, it'll probably just be example seller emails as a drip, but you can just grab them and paste them into your own campaigns. Oh, great, Mark. That's really cool to hear. Would you mind us taking a look at your page? I want to get back to that. That's really cool. Mark says he's busy with following up to just pitch posts. And I think you mean list for specific listings, I think. Tom, if your question, Tom's asking, has anybody found an easy way to provide basic information to this group? You know, we're missing, okay, and then value response, Ninja value response, and I don't know where all this stuff goes. We have so much content that's lost right now. But guys, this is it right here. Hi, yeah, took a look. Based on what I know of the market, you'll likely sell. You'd likely get between 150 and 175K. You know, maybe that's too narrow. If you sold sometime in this buying season. Are you thinking of making a move that soon? So once they respond to the value, once they respond here, after they respond about condition, right, and then that's that. But here's my point about these seller leads, and a lot of you probably concurs. It's going to take you time if you prepare a professional CMA, and then when you give them this value right now, they might not want to talk to you at all for 2 years. But it's not going to hurt, you know, after you send this, make sure you set up the hardest part of all this, the auto updates. Now, that can be done, you know, either by sending over every week through something like GetResponse, like here's the current list of all the properties in your area. You can use your IDX, set them up as if they were a buyer. You can use the MLS. But this is where the money's going to be made on these seller leads. The value email. No problem, Sandy. Glad you're happy. Sure, Chesterfield County foreclosure deals. Oh, promoted posts. Okay. So Mark, I'm just going to show a case study. Mark's saying he's doing great on the buyer side with his fan page. You know, Mark, you were also one of the guys a little frustrated about Craigslist. You were killing it there, right? If I'm remembering, but Craigslist has made things a little harder. But Facebook's a nice backup right now. And guys, we're going to have some juicy, we're going to do it. We're going to head on over to Twitter. I just got a training about Twitter ads. It looks like Twitter is going to be a viable way for us to go too. I'm optimistic about that. So over the next few months, we'll probably start talking about that as well. So don't cry about Craigslist. There's plenty of advertising sources in the sea. Foreclosure deals. Here we go. Nice. 2,500 likes. So Mark's saying all he does, you know, he'll run this HUD foreclosure deal. He'll do a $5 boost post. Comment below. Get the free weekly list. Right? They click the link. I'm just curious to see what your squeeze. Yep, just a simple web form and get response. See the current list. 41 people have liked it. Top comments. A couple people shared it. I need your email. Can you send me a link to the house with more info? Mark's just grabbing he just grabbed April's email address straight off the chat. For $5. 23 more comments. Bam. Whoa. So guys, this might not have even been Mark's listing because I don't know if it is or not Mark, but we're not even counting any calls or texts he got. He's got all those people telling him to send him more details about the property. And he didn't even really need the squeeze page to get that part of it. He just took action and did yesterday, and this is yesterday, did a HUD foreclosure deal. Thank you for sharing, Mark. So it's not his listing. Yeah. Okay, yeah, good question. Mike's asking, Mike's asking, what demographic? How'd you target your ad? Who'd you show the ad to? So any of us could do this without any preparation as long as we have a Facebook fan page. I mean, it couldn't be easier. We just do a post exactly like this. I'll stay still for a minute so you guys can all read it. I'll drop a link to Mark's page. Give him a like if you go there. Don't opt into his squeeze page though. That'll throw off his numbers, right? But if you want to head on over and like Mark's page to get his count up. Okay, so all he did was a simple like campaign. He's at a critical mass now, Mark, where he can do a simple like campaign. Everybody who's already liked his page and their friends when he set it up. So now it's kind of very organic. His ads are very targeted to people who've already shown interest, and he's cultivating that group. Very cool technique. So 2,500 people who liked it. They're seeing this. They're hot to trot on foreclosure deals already, and now when a new one comes up, he's having continued dialogue with people every time they raise their hand and say, well, what about that property? Basically, you can cultivate a whole buyer farm here almost without any email marketing. I know it's blasphemy, but Josh ain't here no more. So but almost without the email marketing, of course, is critical, but you could cultivate business straight from here without even bothering with autoresponders or anything else. 2,700 have seen it. Yeah, Mike, focus on getting real likes. I think the key here is probably the consistency that Mark's employing. Mark, are you emailing people back to this post? I don't know if everybody knows that. You can email people back directly to the post. So you can right-click on the address on the time it was posted and copy a link address. And when you send out your mass emails, hey, I just added a new post, come and check it out. And you can also RSS feed, as we talked about last week or the week before. You can create an RSS feed for all your latest posts, so that happens automatically anytime you add somebody. And that could be a good way to grow the like count. Yep, I'll show you right now and get a video live. Justin, I have a guy doing the annotations for me. Justin, as you listen to this, side note, remind me to do a tutorial about this. There we go. I need a secret tutorial code word embedded in the thing. So we'll get you a tutorial about this up. Also remind me to do the incubation stuff, getting all that seller stuff standardized. Too much to do, guys. But yeah, all you need to do, Mark, is you go. It's not hard. You just, once you post your post, you right click on yesterday, you copy the link address, and then that's the link you mail out inside to get response when you do an update. To do the RSS feed, I have a video explaining how to get that, the RSS feed, on facebook.com/real estate lead generation. It's a sick video. Super sick. I really just wanted an excuse to record something that night and using the sick video. I thought I was having maybe I had a whiskey or something. I don't know. But this is the format for the Facebook feed. You can't copy and paste it, but Hey guys, Ryan. It's in here. If you just copy this and then you need the ID of your page. So Justin, please remind me. I'll do a very nice detailed thing of this. I promise. I'm getting more organized. Got an assistant helping now. I got Mike. Mike and supports there. Just if I promise something and don't do it, just tell Mike to bug me. He'll tell you. I'll probably like yes, yeah, him and never do it anyway. But whatever. Okay, back here, guys. Yeah, Mike, no problem. Mike's just I'll get that to you. The process. All right, guys. Next question. Can you randomly mass email and get response? Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, guys. I just assumed everybody kind of knew that was what you could do. So you can email everybody in your list if that's the question. So, all I got to do is pick my, pick my list, and in messages, create newsletter, and you can mail everybody who's on that list if that's the question. So you can say, hey, I just posted something on my fan page. Here's the link. Everybody in your email list goes back to the fan page. If they haven't liked it yet, you have another chance that they like it, and they consume the content in there. And, blasphemy again, do you really need a blog in that case? I don't know. I mean, everybody's going to say you need your own content hub, but if you want a shortcut creating your own blog and own site, you could do that by just mailing 2 links within your fan page. To set up the RSS feed, guys, just go to messages, create RSS to email, and you can kind of walk through this, but I'll record something slow. I'll talk slow and try to document exactly how to do it. Okay, this is a great question. Sandy's asking about handwritten notes that go to sellers that do not give an email address. I have a postcard that's ready to go. She just wants 1 to 3 messages that work. I don't know firsthand what people are going to respond to. I do. There's a good thread from John Horton in the group, kind of about this, what he does with the addresses, and he has a little bit of a script there. Type that URL wrong. Here we go. I'll post this to the top. Dorian started the thread. Pin post. Okay. And basically what John says is, he was saying go knock on the door. So I don't know if that's what he does, but he says he apologizes that he could not get their home valuation to them. But I understand you hate getting spam too, and I know why you didn't put your email in. Were you curious about the value, or do you have a specific reason? It's basically his script. So, the postcard might say, hey, thanks for checking the value on our site. Feel free to call if you have any questions. No problem, Mike. So Mark's sharing a tip here. He noticed that he gets more requests to send over a link on a promoted post. Oh, interesting. So if he only does 1 picture on a post, he gets more response than doing multiple. So everybody take that for what it's worth. 1 picture versus multiple. That might be, I kind of expected a little more action on this. We had somebody post a bunch of, some of our inventory this week. And I ran an ad to one of these. And yeah, it didn't get much question. I got 1 person, complaining about something with the school district. 13 people liked it. A few bucks was spent. But we clearly did this wrong. And maybe the biggest mistake was adding too many pictures. It also was just a regular listing. It wasn't HUD, and there was nothing like deal-y about it, unique and that implied you were going to get a deal. I want to look back. Did you put the price in your ad? Let me go look. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Here we go. Okay, let's analyze this a little more. Yeah, so listed for 160. You know, it might be interesting. I'm going to try myself. I'll do this, what I'm about to say. It might be interesting to say when the bidding period ends. HUD foreclosure deal bidding period ends this Sunday. And I might have picked that up on one of these sessions. I think a member might have brought that up at some point. But HUD foreclosure deal bidding period ends. And you might get some people say, what do you mean bidding period? You know, or something like that. And it creates a little element of scarcity from a marketing perspective. Mike's saying that just like the same kind of applies on Craigslist. One pick of a property is actually going to get you more action than multiple. Yep, Mark, that might have been you who told me to do that. He says he used to do the scarcity thing. Yep. I mean, this is a great. You're dialoguing with a lot of people there. You know, and everybody who's maybe new to all this. Let me like it. You notice Mark's name is nowhere. I mean, his address for his company and things like that, if they really dug, they could probably find out who's behind the site. But he's not scaring them away with Mark States real estate. And you see a lot of people doing that. This is just a page about delivering information about foreclosures. That's all it is. It's not threatening. It's just an informational resource. Consistently updated. I mean, any of us could do this very, very easily. Mike's saying, way to go, Mark. All right. Okay, guys. Well, we're getting about 40 minutes in. Is there anything else? Paul, I'm really sorry. I didn't remember till yesterday, and then I knew with everything else going on, I wasn't going to get to it. I'm not forgetting the Parade of Homes thing. We have the recording from last week. If anyone wants to watch last week's recording, where I'm thinking we can go with that is I'll record the after op stuff and just let you guys. It'll be vanilla, so you can put any kind of squeeze page in front of it. But I totally forgot. I'm sorry. Just haven't had time to get to that. Mike's asking for suggestions on this page. Surprise! Okay, real estate in Surprise, Arizona. I don't know, it looks good. There's a lot of different interesting stuff. I think it's weird, you know, looking at Mark's page and thinking about some other examples that I know have worked. That thing where it's only one type of property and nothing else may actually be the way to go, where you consistently do it around a niche focused property type. So my only comment, I wouldn't say throw your page away, Mike, but you might do better doing like new homes in Surprise, you know, Surprise new construction, and then show floor plans for all the new construction, or land in Surprise, and just have it be really tight so that anybody who's zoned in on that can come and like it. What's everybody else think? I think we might be onto something there by really niching out the page. I hope she's okay, Paul. Start here, VIP buyer picks. Well, one place you can go is just go steal them from Mark. I don't know if Mark made them or if Josh made them at some point. He wants to know where to get these images, but I dropped the link to his fan page. Well, guys, yeah, conversion. Mark's saying I've achieved. You know, I actually left Retaculous and went over to conversion for a little while, but when Josh said he was leaving, I wanted to come back. Couldn't let this die. But yeah, the link should work fine. We continue to have weird issues with the cookies on our site. Try a different browser, but the link should work fine for last week's strategy session. Oh, another member emailed them. Well, here, guys. Sorry. Oops. I'm having a hard time copying. You know, this isn't hard to do. You know, you can do this on PicMonkey too. We just talked about that. So let's do kind of a fun tool. If I hit design, you know, like you can go screenshot his, but I think we can just change our canvas color like this and then go grab some letters. They wanted me to apply. Go grab some letters here, pick a font, add text. There we go. You know, just start here. We may need to resize this whole thing. I think in the beginning I had the option to. Oh, where'd you go? Okay, you know, the screen capture is what I'd be tempted to do here. I think everybody else agrees. So you're going to want to find out the dimensions in Facebook and then just do like start here over itself and do it. You can also do this in Google Docs. Thanks, Mark. Yeah, Josh left. He's still alive. Give him a ring and say hi. Oh, Mike, awesome. Support guy Mike. Mike, yeah, email them. Post them to the group. Do you know how to zip them up into a file? Zip them up into a file. Mike has a bunch of these little images. Zip them up in a file, send them to me. I'll post them to the group. Unless you can figure that out too. You can email Mark. I'll put Mark's email address, and he says he'd be happy to email you his images. So here we go, everybody. Okay. Okay, we have one comment. Somebody's lost, and I know if you're new with us, and this is just kind of how we do it, and it's not for everybody. I understand. You know, basically we do jump around. We just talk about different things that people are doing on these sessions, and we try to have the members area fill in the gaps. And what you're experiencing is a big transition, and you know, with me leaving and Josh leaving and me coming back, and then us pulling in the CRM, there's a lot of change going on. So we do apologize. You know, in that sense, this isn't a normal time, but we are kind of a little jumpy, jumpy aroundy. So sorry about that for what it's worth. Mark just got a VIP buyer. And that's the way we roll randomness. All right. Well, thanks for everybody for being on. We'll get that recording live. Buy you the link should work. So if it doesn't, please let us know again. Just try a different web browser. See if that helps. Okay, guys. Talk to you later.